no one actually thought he was capable of what he clearly was capable of. His first victim was a young woman, well, not that young, 43, Susan Rushworth, who disappeared in June 2009. Now, Susan Rushworth's body has never been discovered. She simply went AWOL. Now, as we've talked to each other before about this, prostitutes are comparatively easy victims because they're often transient. They could have moved cities. Not many people report they're missing.
Yeah.
And they, in other words, can disappear off the radar pretty quickly. Rushworth disappeared. Now, there have been a great many speculations about what happened. Some suggest that he cut up part of her body. Some suggest that he cooked part of it. Some suggest that he ate part of her thighs. What is undeniable is that he did set fire to an old sofa outside the flat at one point, and it's been speculated that that was an attempt to conceal Rushworth's body.
Oh, so what happened to Rushworth?
She just disappeared off the face of the earth.
I know, but how do we know that he killed her then?
He eventually confessed.
Oh, he confessed?
Yes.
And where does all the eating come from?
Well, I think it's wanting to have the ultimate control over the victim.
I know, but did he say he ate her?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Oh, you know, he didn't hold back.
Oh.
No. But this is some time later. I mean, the real killing spree took off in April 2010 when he killed another prostitute, Shelley Armitage, only 31. Now, Armitage, who was later followed by another woman called Suzanne Blamirez, who was 33, who disappeared on the 21st of May, or in fact in the early hours of the 22nd of May 2010. By this point, Griffiths is living the fantasy. He is completely obsessed by being a killer, by being a serial killer. He wants to deliver a message to the world. Armitage disappears in April, but again, no one knows quite what's happened to her. And then Blamirez disappears, but this time, because of the increased CCTV in the block of flats, about 10 to 3 in the morning, Blamirez is seen running out of his third floor flat on the CCTV. But this isn't looked at immediately. It's not this is the weekend, so it's not looked at until the Monday. She's seen running out of the flat, tripping, possibly, or being pushed. And then Griffiths emerges from the flat with a crossbow and shoots her through the head. And she's lying on the floor.
Close.
It's very
Close to crossbows, not, I mean, you don't shoot them that close to things, do you?
well. It is a particularly brutal crime. And then he's seen on the CCTV dragging her back into the flat by a foot. At one point,
what time is this? In the night time?
it's about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. The remnants of a knife are also found in her skull when finally her body is discovered. The tragedy is that, like Armitage, and I suspect like Rushworth, he dismembers her. He cuts her into 81 pieces in the bath. The bath was like a slaughterhouse.
It's such a lot of effort. This is the thing I find really stressful about dismemberment. It's like really difficult to dismember someone.
It's really difficult. But just let's go back to the CCTV for a moment. First of all, he holds up the crossbow above his head to the CCTV camera.
After he shoots her?
After he shot her in the head, holds it up, takes her inside the flat, comes back out not very long later with a can of Coke and gives a one-fingered salute to the CCTV.
Jeffrey's swearing at me.
But, you know, this is the act of a man who clearly quite happy to be discovered. He knew the CCTV was there.
Yeah.
And he clearly, by this point, thought, well, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be famous for the man who, you know. Poor old Blamirez's head he put into a rucksack and took to the seaside, along with elements of Shelley Armitage, chucked her in the sea, chucked her head in the sea. It's amazing how often that happens. There's a particularly nasty case in Scotland where that happened too. The two young sisters discovered the head in, of all things, a little plastic bag on the seaside at Arbroath.
Grim.
Yeah. But the thing about Griffith, I think by this point, is that he'd kind of exploded. We've talked about this before. The kind of volcano that's been building up inside for all this time, and then boom, it comes out. And I think part of the reason why it came out on this particular occasion was that he felt that he'd not been acknowledged as a serial killer. Now, nobody had missed, particularly Susan Rushworth. And he said, well, hang on a minute. I know I killed her, but why doesn't the world know that it's a serial killer on the loose? It's a kind of morbid fascination with celebrity.
And that's a normal trait in serial killers, though, isn't it? All the wanting to be, even if they're more subtle than him and are like, leave their signature mark or thing, so then they get dubbed something and they're in the press for being X and Y.
Yeah, it's a thing about Griffiths in the end is that he managed to conceal his true nature. He didn't talk to the prostitutes particularly he used. In fact, on the night that he killed Ramirez and put her in the bath, he tried to hire another prostitute known at the trial only as R, who turned him down.
Sensible.
Yeah, because had she not turned him down, she would have been the fourth victim, no question at all, because he was by then completely escalating.
Yeah.
It was wild and out of control. But after his arrest, this is very interesting. He told the officers, sometimes you kill someone to kill yourself. It is like deep issues inside me.
That makes sense to me. That sounds to me a bit like self-harm. You know, when people self-harm and they say that when you cut yourself, if you feel a release of pressure and that like takes part of the pain away. Maybe it's a similar thing to that.
Yeah. But he also described himself to the police as misanthropic and said he didn't have much time for the human race.
What does misanthropic mean?
No, not caring for people. He insisted in the interview he had nothing against working girls and was not street cleaning like Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper. Sutcliffe saw himself as cleaning the streets. But when he asked why he'd eaten the thighs of one and cooked body parts of another, he said that's part of the magic.
I don't know. There's a few cases of cannibalism, aren't there?
Yes.
Of kinds of another.
Yeah.
I don't know what the traits of cannibalism are, really.
Well,
if it's not for necessity.
It's not for necessity, no. It is about complete control, really. After the killing of Ramirez, the third victim, over the following day, the security cameras caught Griffiths repeatedly leaving his flat, carrying a series of bags, a rucksack and a holdall laden with poor girls' body parts. He dismembered her, as I said, into 81 pieces. He walked through the centre of Bradford before taking a train to Shipley, where he dumped the remains in the water. Police divers would discover some of Miss Ramirez's body parts and some fragments of Miss Armitage's remains as well, as a bag containing the tools used in the murder.